All right, I saw in the chat that some people are having a hard time looking for a passcode for the meeting. If for some reason that's the case for anyone in your district, it's in the chat for you to send to them. We're going to go ahead and get started today. This is being recorded, and so we will be posting the recording on the website once we're finished. We're here to talk about interests and opportunities and the menu-based approach. My name is Amelia Urban, and I work in the Office of Assessments, Accountability, and Analytics. And I have been overseeing the interest and opportunities implementation for this school year. So we're really excited to talk some more about what are the changes that have been made via BESI and what is the policy for this current school year. So for the background information of the Interest and Opportunities Index, and to remind everyone, this measure was included as a part of our ESSA plan to make sure that we had an understanding of what access students had in schools to give them a well-rounded education and provide opportunities that spoke to their interests and gave them the chance to be involved in more than just what was happening in core curriculum. And so beginning in 2022 and 2023, this measure will be through a menu-based approach, which will give schools and school systems the opportunity to select indicators across several domains and share with us what are the things that you're doing in your school that are working, so that we can share that across the state and then also have a really good understanding of what are some of the things that you're doing to provide access to students and give them the opportunity to be involved in more than just their core classes. Over the last several years, we have met with both local stakeholders and national experts to develop this measure. We want to make sure that it's simple and easy to implement, that it's fair and speaks to every school and student across the state. We wanted to provide a menu so that you have the opportunity to select what's best for your school and for your community. And we want to make sure that it also represents what we believe is our values and our high expectations for all students. We're excited because this is something that hasn't been done anywhere else in the nation yet. In this manner, and we believe that we're going to be pioneering to set the stage for the rest of the nation to join us in really including more than just core curriculum and more than just attendance and school performance scores. Listed here are some of the stakeholder groups that we've engaged over the last several years. You may have been included in them. You may have had other people that you know that were included in them. We've also talked to arts experts that don't work in schools. We've talked to LaSTEM and included everyone and anyone that we could in these conversations to make sure that this was a really well-rounded approach and spoke to everything that was happening across the state. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about the timeline of interest and opportunities and where we are this year. So we're currently in what we're considering a learning year with our current policy continued. So that means that the same policy that we used from 2020, 2021 is still being implemented for 2021, 2022 school year. The only difference is that in the survey this year, you will have the opportunity to be exposed to all of the materials with an explanation of our menu-based approach. You'll have the chance to select the 4 menu options that you would pick today, and you'll have the opportunity to give us feedback on the draft menu that currently exists. Moving into the winter, we'll analyze those survey results and gather some additional feedback. We're going to host some roundtables with some of the stakeholders we've already engaged to make sure that we have a really final version of the menu that encompasses everything that your feedback is pointing us in the direction that makes sense for the state and for the students of the state. In spring 2022, we'll begin our full implementation. A finalized menu will be published in mid-March for you to use in building your master schedule. And presentations will happen at Teacher Leader Summit with the new approach completely detailed again, as well as including our spring findings. So like I said, the 2021-2022 school year policy has not changed. For all schools, it will include the completion of the online survey. And for K through 8 only, it will also include the course enrollment in the 4 categories that we have always used. We've already posted our course list in the accountability library. There's an updated FAQ. There's the fillable PDF that's available. We're hosting this webinar today. And on Monday, November 1st, all survey information will be sent to school leaders, system data managers. That contact information will all come from sponsor site. So if for some reason you believe that the information isn't updated in sponsor site, you should work with your school system sponsor site manager to make sure that that information is up to date as soon as possible. The survey doesn't open until November 15th, but it will be open from November 15th to December 17th. As a reminder, all surveys must be validated by your superintendent or
that Paw Patrol.
Hello, Tot.
I got Paw Patrol on my computer. You want to come look?
or other relevant system leader. So for this year, our menu of domains and indicators are included in the survey. And for accountability purposes, we're continuing to use the existing policy. As a reminder, this is the Interest and Opportunities Index will be included in school performance scores this year. It is not a hold harmless year. So starting in 2022-2023, we're adopting a menu-based approach. Annually, we will publish a list of indicators that are associated with each of the BESI approved domains that you will select as the basis for your Interest and Opportunities Index calculation. The domains are broad offerings, so the arts, STEM, extracurriculars, and world languages. And the indicators in each of those domains are the specific measures that will capture the extent to which your school is advancing students' interests and opportunities. In August of 2021, BESI approved these domains. The domains are what are included in bulletin language, and the indicators can be changed each year to best cater to what is happening across the state and are not included in bulletin language. You'll be required to select indicators from at least 2 different domains. So you're not allowed to select all of your indicators from one domain, and you are not required to select from all 4 domains. You could pick one from each, or you could pick one from one domain and the other 3 from a different domain. But 2 domains must be included in your selection. An example of one of our indicators currently proposed is the percentage of students enrolled in at least one world language class taught by a world languages teacher certified in the corresponding language. You're required to choose 4 indicators total. Those indicators, as I just said, must come from at least 2 different domains. And of the 4 indicators, at least 3 indicators must be based on data that is already collected by the LDOE.
See mine. Mine.
One indicator can be based on additional data. As you can see, we have linked here for you a draft of list of the indicators. They'll be included as well in our resources that are on the survey and will be in the accountability library for you to reference. As we move into the implementation phase for the school year 2023, for the school performance score for 2023, in the summer of 2022, we will release an annual survey for you to identify the indicators that will be used to calculate your interest and opportunities index score. As a part of this collection, we will continue to solicit optional feedback from all schools on the list of domains and indicators provided. And it is recommended that you work with your school system to determine which indicators you select. At the end of your selection, school systems will receive a validation report of all of the school responses, and superintendents must then verify and certify these responses. Once a school's responses and selected indicators are certified, you will not be allowed to modify for that accountability school year. So every year will work like this. Starting in the spring of 2022, we'll release the guidance and the indicators. We'll release the survey. You'll respond to the survey, and your superintendent will validate the selected indicators. In the spring, we'll produce preliminary results. In the late spring, we'll start the data review process and collecting all of your data. In the spring to the summer, we'll continue to review that documentation using MMCS and the current data certification platform that is already used. And then in fall of 2023, the first SPS will be produced, including the menu-based approach for the Interest and Opportunities Index. Documentation submission for some of the indicators will be based on data that we do not currently collect through our systems. So there will be a submission window for school systems to submit any documentation needed to substantiate an indicator that is not based on data already collected by the LDOE. Only one indicator can be selected like this, and specific documentation will be required in order to earn the points towards these indicators. The LDOE will work with the school system accountability contacts to build an understanding of the measure and support in understanding how to review and submit any needed documentation. The Interest and Opportunities Index is based on a 150-point scale. The total points across all of the number of selected indicators will add up to 150. As part of the menu-based approach, guidance will be provided for each indicator that outlines how the indicator will be scored and what data or documentation would be used in the scoring determination for that indicator. For example, if the indicator selected was the percentage of students enrolled in at least one world language class taught by a world languages teacher certified in the corresponding language, the LDOE would use student course enrollment and teacher certification data already collected by LDOE to determine the rate used in the scoring determination for that indicator. We're requiring 4 indicators. 3 must be collected on data collected by LDOE. 1 can be used with school submitted documentation, which means that each indicator will be worth 37.5 points total. So producing index results, LDOE will continue to be responsible for maintaining the secure collection of all data and documentation needed. We'll review all of the documentation to ensure it meets the scoring criteria outlined. And we will use this in calculating the indicator results for each school, along with an overall interest and opportunities index score. As we've said before, we'll include a validation report of all of the indicator results for school systems to review and validate as a part of an annual data certification process. Final index results will be calculated and reported as a part of each school's public report card in the annual release of school results. So annually, we're going to report the indicators selected by each school, including school level disaggregated student group results where possible, and an interest and opportunities index result as a part of the school performance score. The results will be published both on the Louisiana School Finder and on the LDOE's website. All of our resources are currently available in the accountability library on louisianabelieves.com. Our FAQ, a one-pager, the fillable PDF for the survey this year, and the course codes. If there are any additional questions that you have, please email accountability@la.gov. At this time, that concludes our presentation. As we said, we have recorded this webinar and we will post it to our website. Additionally, if you have any further questions, you can email us at accountability@la.gov. And this slide deck will be posted along with the recording of the webinar. Thank you so much for your time. We're glad that you could join us today. And we hope to hear from you soon. Be expecting the email from accountability@la.gov to come out on Monday, November 1st with the directions for the survey, along with your unique submission code. Thank you so much.